Welcome back to ZANTASTIC. This is the podcast where we talk about what makes you fantastic. Well, you are fantastic underneath everything. You know, all of your patterns, your blocks, your fears, underneath all of that junk, your negative beliefs. You're perfect. You're just fine. It's just getting there, which can be hard for some of us. But I wanted to tell you about a strategy that I used with one of my clients that was pretty interesting, groundbreaking, using AI to eradicate limiting beliefs. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Here's how it worked. So I gave my client some prompts to use with AI because AI, large language models, it's really just pattern recognition. It's what I do as a coach. I just listen to what my client is saying to me and I identify patterns, and then we clear those patterns using NLP processes. But I was wondering if AI could do it. So I tested it out myself and I developed a couple of prompts that I could use in order to help me find my own limiting beliefs. And it was a very interesting conversation that I had with my AI tool. I basically said, I would like you to ask me questions about my life because I would like to uncover limiting beliefs in a certain area of my life. I would also like you to reference any previous conversations that we have had and get at these limiting beliefs. So the AI tool asked me a bunch of questions, which I answered, and I gave it a bunch of narrative describing my experience around certain issues, and then it reflected back to me what my limiting beliefs were. Interestingly, it was very accurate, and my unconscious started then giving me memories of times in my life in which those beliefs were formed, mostly when I was a little kid. It helped me understand myself. It helped me understand patterns that were instilled in me when I was very young, and it helped me start to unravel them. Now, I had to do the work using NLP in order to eradicate those beliefs, but at least I got a list of them. So I have this prompt. I will put it down below. You can just go copy it into your AI tool of choice. It worked well for me and it worked really well for my client. Now, I also started working with my client with hypnosis. I worked with her to devise a hypnosis script that she could read in her own voice to record as an audio that she could listen to with some self-hypnosis. So she started doing these hypnosis sessions in order to deal with what she was experiencing, which were financial blocks. And so she was doing the session, and I had her do it every day for a week. And then she came back to me and said she had an incredible experience, that she got to where she needed to be, and she had this weekend of bliss. She really felt like she was getting past some of her financial limitations. She was starting to feel optimistic. She was starting to feel like some of the debt that she had was going to be eradicated easy. She put together a financial plan for doing all of this, and then something happened, and it threw her completely. So then we jumped on a call, had a session, and it became very apparent to me that she was rewiring herself. Now, we all have something called the reticular activating system, or the RAS, within us. It is the part of our minds that filters out the data that we take in from our external world. Now, if you took in all of the data, you would become overwhelmed. So your RAS decides what is important to pay attention to. You've heard, I'm sure, before, where people buy a red car and all of a sudden they notice how many red cars are on the road, or you buy a Lexus and all of a sudden all you notice are Lexuses, or you decide you want a Porsche and you see Porsches everywhere. Your reticular activating system tells your brain what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention to. So what we need to do is reprogram that to stop paying attention to things that are evidence of lack and start paying attention to the abundance that is all around us. She was rewiring this, and she rewired her brain to start noticing abundance everywhere. And she was starting to get really blissed out. Because there is abundance everywhere. Go into your backyard and count how many blades of grass. There's tons of them. Go look at how many insects are outside. Go look at how many raindrops fall during a rainstorm. Abundance is everywhere. Even where there seems to be lack, there can be abundance. There's abundance of something everywhere. Even think about how you breathe. Take a deep breath in, because you're probably breathing rather shallowly right now. We all do. We never take in as much air as is available to us. We are the cause of our abundance blocks, much more than external circumstances. But by rewiring our reticular activating system, we rewire ourselves to start noticing abundance. But my client actually had something happen, and it just felt like it was so divergent from what she was feeling. She was starting to notice abundance everywhere. She was starting to feel in her flow, but something happened and it felt like this isn't my abundant reality. And the juxtaposition of this thing that happened with how she was feeling threw her. It made her wonder whether any of this was working at all. I had a conversation with her, and we talked about how long it takes to really rewire the reticular activating system, and it takes some time. So this is just kind of like an echo from the past. Let's keep going, because you're feeling great, so keep going. So she kept doing the self-hypnosis for another week. She did the conversations with AI using the prompts that I had given her, and she got to the point where she started noticing the abundance. Something caught her eye on social media, and she went and checked an investment account, and she thought she had sold something. She had not sold it. It was still there, and it had appreciated in value 4 times what she had expected to see. That abundance was there all along, but she couldn't see it because her reticular activating system wouldn't allow her to see it. She was already abundant, but she was telling herself a story of lack because that's how her brain was wired. By working with the results she was getting by uncovering limiting beliefs using her AI tool, and by working using self-hypnosis, she was able to rewire the RAS so that she could see abundance. It was something that was right there all along, but she couldn't see it. She never went to look. Then something else happened. The same day, she actually realized that her husband had invested in something and went and asked him if he still had that investment, because she saw that it was doing very well. And he's like, oh yeah, it's still there. And she thought it wasn't. She thought he had sold it. He was so nonchalant about it. It was something that nobody had talked about. It was there. She just couldn't see it. So she ended up realizing that she's a lot closer to being a millionaire than she ever thought she was. She just had to rewire her brain in order to see it. I have a friend many years ago who was going through a really rough time, and he ended up taking his own life. And one of his friends let me know after he had passed that he actually was a millionaire, and he had all of this stuff going for him, but he couldn't see it. I was hesitating telling the story about him, but I got a message. I got a very intuitive message, a very synchronistic message, almost like he was telling me to use him as an example. He did not see the abundance and the love and the appreciation and the beauty that existed in his life. And so I think he just wanted to be the warning sign, because he didn't think he had it. He didn't think he was living the life of his dreams, but he really was. And I think all of us are at some level. We are all living the life of our dreams. And yes, we have desires. And yes, we have aspirations. And yes, we all have problems. But if your reticular activating system is habituated to always look at the problems, that's all you're ever going to see. We owe it to ourselves to rewire our brains towards positivity, towards seeing the good, towards seeing the abundance that is everywhere. I have another message in my life right now. I have this a backyard that's rather large, and there's a hill that goes down, and then there's a tree line. And last year, we had a storm and a number of trees got knocked over, and thankfully a neighbor helped me take care of most of it. But I have just been looking at that area of the yard and just, I don't want to deal with it. And I don't really have to. It's back there and it's kind of like a wild area. It's nature, right? And this year, for some reason, the entirety of the tree line is covered with sunflowers. And it's the middle of summer here in Texas, and we've gotten quite a bit of rain, and they are all in full bloom. So the entirety of my backyard is sunflowers. And that to me is a sign to always look for the positive. I mean, what do sunflowers do? They are always turning towards the sun. They are always focused on the light. They are always focused on the positive. And that is my message, to always be looking for the good. It's hard when your brain is wired to look for the bad. In the description box down below on YouTube, you can find the prompt that I used and that my client used. You can go put it into AI. It's really helpful if you have used this AI to ask questions about anything in your life, whether you're using it for work or if you're using it to solve problems on your own. If you've had conversations with AI and it remembers those conversations, you can use this prompt to uncover what negative beliefs are blocking you from whatever it is. I'm going to share the one that my client used because it was all about finances. And I know everybody's like, oh, make me $1 million. I might use that as the thumbnail on this. How to use AI and hypnosis in order to find $1 million in your life. Because that's exactly what happened with my client. She was looking for retirement. She was looking for more money. And she was able to find it right under her nose where she couldn't see it before. To her, it felt like a miracle. To me, it's just the reticular activating system. So if you want more advice on how to use hypnosis, how to create a self-hypnosis recording that you can use to rewire your RAS, you can send me a message on my website and I can give you that information. If you are interested in how to create a hypnosis session in your own voice to speak to your unconscious mind in order to get rid of negative beliefs around money, I do have that available. You can buy that on my store. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. I can share some of my favorite ones, but it's really helpful when you do it in your own voice. There's something about self-hypnosis that's a little bit different. I think your unconscious mind hears it better, and I feel that that works a lot better. So that's the story of the reticular activating system and how one of my clients made herself a millionaire. She was already a millionaire and she just didn't see it. I wonder how many other people that's the case for. We'll see you next time on ZANTASTIC.